What is up, everybody? Turboverse here today. Capcom. Everybody don't need a showcase at E3, man. Like, this is some ridiculous stuff right here. Like, I don't know why Capcom decided they need to have an E3 because I just got done watching it and it was not impressive whatsoever. It was awful actually. So we're gonna go over what they had at E3. So the first thing they talked about was Resident Evil, Resident Evil Village, the multiplayer for that game. I'm trying to see if I can kind of see fast forward it. Talk about the multiplayer for this game, the reverse. They spent a large amount of time on this, at least like a few minutes on this. Like when the multiplayer comes, it comes. Like nobody's like really excited about the multiplayer. Like people probably get on it, but it's like okay. I need to spend that much time on this. Maybe like a few minutes and let's move on. Then they announced that hey, DLC is coming for this game. Um, that's not a shocker to me because the game is like the number one. I think on the MPD, this game is like the number one seller on MPD. So for software wise, so yeah, you better get on making that DLC because you kind of don't want to miss the what is it? You don't want to miss the train when it's coming. Like they make it like this game is this real popular right now. So yeah, I can see why they're making DLC. But it's like it's a no-brainer why they're making DLC soon. Then they talked about Monster Hunter, the Monster Hunter Stories game, the newest one. Which that game looks pretty cool. I'm gonna buy that game, but it's kind of like okay, we know that's coming already. They talked about this for a good chunk. They talk about Monster Hunter Rise, like updates they're gonna do for the Monster Hunter Rise game. So, and if you buy, I guess if you have Monster Hunter Rise data with Monster Hunter Stories 2, you get extra, additional content. So there's nothing really new. That's like games have done that before. So nothing really new. And then they talked about Ace Attorney Chronicles. And it's like I'm pretty sure this game has some fans, so probably a large amount of fans for the Ace Attorney games, but it's like I don't care about this game whatsoever. It's like I don't care about these. I don't care about the series like that. I know it's like real popular on like the handheld systems, but who cares at the end of the day? It's like then they talk about esports and they talk about esports. They talk about the Street Fighter, the competitions, the Street Fighter tournaments. Like who cares? Who cares, bro? It's like they spent the last like few minutes talking about the esports thing. Like they really didn't need to have a conference. Like this was the one of the worst conferences of all E3. Like this is just ridiculous. Like they could have kept this conference. This is a little, I don't know. They just paid all these people. Pretty sure this cost at least a big chunk of money to have this E3 showcase like this. But they could have kept this, man. They could have kept this. It was this Capcom was actually trending on Twitter. Like people was like wondering, like, hey, are we gonna see Resident Evil 4 remake? I want to see that one. I want to see more details about that. We didn't see that. People were like, hey, we're gonna get a remake of Dino Crisis. Fans have been asking for a remake for Dino Crisis for the longest, ever since they started making those Resident Evil remakes. I was like, we're gonna get a remake of Dino Crisis. That was actually Dino Crisis was actually trending on Twitter. It was a Capcom event was coming up. But nope, nothing like that. We just got some Ace Attorney games and some guys talking about the fighting game community. Like, who cares about your tournament? I was like, really? But yeah, this was ridiculous. So you can see by the thumbs up, the likes to dislike ratio. The dislikes is almost up there with the likes. It's like this was nobody liked this showcase. And just read some of these comments. Like it says, why did Capcom go through the process of getting a host, making a set, camera work, lighting, and audio work just to show us basically nothing? And I pretty much agree with this. They basically showed us nothing. Like, you didn't show us anything. Like, what was the point of this showcase? This is why everyone should have their own conference. I'm terribly disappointed about the so-called E3 Capcom for real. Capcom, you made great games lately, but you really need your own E3 slot this year if this is all you had. Capcom, did you miss the memo about showing off new games at E3? Why did you even come? You basically came to the potluck with a water bottle. Wow. Capcom, a word of advice: if it is E3 season, all you have to announce is a few updates for assisted games and new port. That's all they. This is literally all they had to show it. Like, why? Why would you even come? He said an interview with some game news company or a blog post will do the trick. When you announce that you're doing a showcase, you set up E3 level expectations and you fall disastrously short of that. It only ends up reflecting negatively on the things you announce. Congrats, Capcom. You managed to save Square Enix bacon for being the worst presentation yet. Wow, people are saying Square Enix was the worst presentation. I thought Gearbox was the worst presentation. They literally only had that Tiny Tina Wonderlands game. The rest of that other showcase been that rest of that showcase been could have been thrown in the garbage for all I can care about. Yeah. Let's recap the three things we've shown. People maybe are mad at PlayStation for not being at E3, but at least they were honest and didn't do pointless and stupid things like this showcase. Surely disappointing. I was expecting announcements for Dragon's Dogma 2, but we didn't get an announcement for any new games. 0 out of 10. This was embarrassing. I didn't even think E3 could go lower, but it did. Like, yeah, like what the hell? Like, what's going on with E3 this year? Like, why these people coming? Why these different companies coming to E3? They're really showing any new games or anything like that. It's just weird. Uh, yeah, I don't know what Capcom was thinking here. This was the worst E3 showcase. I literally hated it. And people probably took days off work for this stuff. Like people probably took the 4 days off for the E3 week for E3, and I was like, I feel sorry if you took the day off for this conference. My expectations were low, but holy f. Presentations like this is why E3 has become more of a joke than anything to look forward to. Yeah, so I'm gonna conclude it right there. People did not like this conference. Um, Maybe if you took the day off, you could ask your boss for like a refund or something. Maybe you could say, "Hey, boss, I'll come in extras, like get my vacation days back." I don't know, because this was not it right here. So I don't know. Let me know your thoughts down below. Yeah, I don't know why Capcom would even want to show up to E3. They only got anything to show. It just didn't make any sense to me. And like that one comment said, they spent a lot of money on all this to have this showcase going, but they didn't really show us anything. So definitely interesting. So want to see your thoughts down below. As always, leave a like and thanks for watching. Thanks for watching and peace.